Let's see, in the week that I took off of making videos, I was able to complete half of the first session for my next D&D campaign, finish 8/10 of a manuscript for a current novella that I'm working on, and finish mapping out another set of novellas novels that I'm working on. So yeah, successful week was successful. Now back to your regularly scheduled bullshit. Readers, a lot of different analogies came to mind when I decided to cover today's topic for today's lesson. Zootopia was definitely one of them, despite the fact that I have yet to see Zootopia. But I found a better analogy once I found out that the third installment of the Dark Souls series, Dark Souls 3, would be released this week. Why is this the perfect analogy for today's lesson? Because I refuse to play the fucker. My first experience with From Software and Miyazaki games in general was me watching two of my close friends play Demon Souls. They were only on the first level, but it was watching them play the game and learning what happens when you die and die again was what made me call bullshit on this entire genre. Your experience comes from the creatures that you killed in the form of souls. When you die, you have a chance of reclaiming them when you respawn, because they'll drop in a nice package for you in the last place you died. But this will happen when you die, so if you die a second time, those amount of souls that you got will be lost to you forever. And that was enough for me to say, no. So from then on, I watch other people play this game, along with other iterations of it, always asking the same question whenever I do. And that question is, why do y'all like to suffer? Of course, this is just my opinion of the games, and whenever I make my disdain for this series of games verbally clear around my friends, I know that they're playing this because they like it. Why? I don't know. And I have no right to judge or condemn them for doing so. Because while role-playing games are my favorite form of video games, to the point where I'd say I'm a true fan of RPGs, I wouldn't want anyone to judge or condemn me as to whether or not I was, based on what I have or have not played. But unfortunately, a lot of people do this. Not only with just video games, but with fandoms in general. And it's this point that I'm trying to make that causes this to be today's lesson. Now, if you've been watching my videos for a while up until now, you'll probably be able to find similarities between this video and the video I did earlier on Independence Day Resurgence. But I honestly feel that the aspect of respect, especially within different nerd fandoms, needs to be pressed upon. Because just because you don't play a type of video game within the genre that you are a fandom of, does not mean that people have the right to declare you a fake, that you're not a real fan of something. And readers, you need to realize that you don't have to stand for that. Because if you do not like first-person shooters, but you are a fan of Destiny, and you declare yourself as a fan of Destiny, then you are a fan of Destiny. If you say you are a fan of RPGs, but the only games in your repertoire are the Kingdom Hearts games, the BioWare games, and maybe a few Final Fantasy games, then you are a fan of RPGs. If you say that you are a fan of action-adventure games, while you love Dante's Inferno but hate the God of War series, then you are a fan of action-adventure games. Because you said you are. And like I said before, this can be taken out of video games and other versions of fandoms. I'm a huge fan of the Ghostbusters franchise. The mythology of Gozer and Ivo Shandor that was explained in Ghostbusters 1 and in the video game, which basically counts as the third movie, is something I found absolutely fascinating after researching the shit and watching the movies and playing the game for myself. Yet, despite the fact that I know this much about the Ghostbusters mythos and the mythology within the mythology, there are Ghostbusters fans who don't really care for that, who just enjoy watching the movies, and still declare themselves true fans. And they are. Readers, it doesn't matter what you know, it doesn't matter what you watched, it doesn't matter what you read, it doesn't matter what you played. If you have declared yourself a fan of something, then motherfucker, then you are a fan of something. And the only time anybody has the right to say that you are not a fan of something is if you have personally declared that you are not a fan of something. So for those of you who have fell victim to this, or have actually caused this to happen to somebody, to the former I say keep doing you, keep your head up, and keep enjoying what you like. And to the latter, I say Stop being a dick. Because I'm pretty sure that there's something that you declare yourself a fan of that somebody can easily check on you because you didn't necessarily know as much as you do. And then they'd say that you're not a fan of it, even though that you know that you are. And once again, it goes back to the golden rule. If you don't want somebody to be a dick to you, don't be a dick to other people. It's just that simple. I have no idea where this voice came from, but I'm just going to keep pushing it because I'm weird. And I don't know when to stop things sometimes. But readers, your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below something that you declare yourself a fan of, regardless of if you're completely knowledgeable of it, or if you expose yourself to an extensive amount of media about it. Be it comic books, regular books, video games, movies, whatever. Because it's not a sense of promoting mediocrity, it's a sense of promoting togetherness. Anyways, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.